Now, let's get back to our original problem. How then can Jesus be the Son of God? If I have made it very clear that God, as the only God, cannot produce a son. Now, we can go the human route of thinking. And the usual way a father has a son is by reproduction, by adoption, right? And it's always, the son always comes after the father. But this is imposing human thinking on God. And the moment this happens, there is a time where God was not father because there was no son to be had. There's the alternative. We can look at the divine action. The Father is a father to the Son, just as the Son is a son to the Father by their eternal free choice. They just said, this is the relationship we will stand in against each other, over against each other. And this is describing their relationship, not their existence, not the timing. That's not what God is trying to say here. Now, I want to go to David and Solomon. And there in 1 Kings 1 verse 43, and this is not Jonathan that was David's friend, it's another Jonathan, but he answered Adonijah, no, for our Lord King David has made Solomon king. How many kings are we talking about here? Now, I'm going to shock you. There are not two kings. There is one king. No kingdom functions under two kings. It is impossible. Kingship does not allow that. A king can have a queen. A king can have princes. But you cannot have two kings. And you see, this is very simple. There's one kingship. Because both David is king and Solomon is king. They rule one kingdom as one. So when we go to that passage in Hebrews 9 verse 9 that says, God, your God, it is speaking of one Godhead that is shared by the Father who is fully God and Jesus who is fully God. And therefore, there's not two gods, there's one Godhead that is shared by two beings. We can take this even further. This is why Jesus is called God. And I've done a set of videos on 7 verses that you cannot translate better. And I'll put the link in the description below. And if we go to John 10 verse 33, the Jews answered him, it is not for a good work that we are going to stone you, but for blasphemy, because you, being a man, make yourself God. You realize what they're saying there, right? When Jesus said the Father and I are one, he wasn't saying I came after, he was saying we're equal. And you never find that Jesus tries to correct them or that John tries to correct them like, oh, they didn't understand. No, they understood fully what Jesus was saying. And Jesus was not going to correct them because they were right. We also find that Jesus is worshipped. Hebrews 1 verse 6, when God the Father resurrected Christ, when he brings him back to heaven and he says to the angels, the victory has been won, to make his point, he said, let all of the angels of God worship him. And there's an interesting little hint in there. Satan is also an angel that was originally created by God. Although he is in rebellion, he is still an angel of God. And that was saying to Satan, you've lost. You must worship him. And if we go to Matthew 4 verse 10, Jesus says to Satan, for it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God, and him only shall you serve. So how can Jesus be worshipped unless he's God?